I'm still on the automatic. I'm not going to use the flappy paddles. Full on the brake, full on accelerator. We'll drop the brake. It took just a second to realize, but now we are off. Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is perhaps my vote for Garage Talk SUV of the year. This is the updated 2025 Hyundai Tucson. This is the top limited trim with the hybrid powertrain. And in this video, I'm going to examine how this vehicle compares to its two closest rivals we've had most recently here on the channel, in the Mazda CX-50 hybrid that is co-produced with Toyota, and the brand new 2025 Chevy Equinox. Both of those were really good vehicles. I actually compared those two head to head. How does this thing stack up? And what changed over the 2024 model? Stay tuned. Before we get too far into this one, I do want to thank Hyundai for bringing this one to us here in Tyler, Texas to test on our home turf after getting to sample it on the Media Drive in Los Olivos, California. I really loved it in California. I really love it here on my home turf, and living with it as we have over this past week really leans into exactly why I think this deserves our SUV of the year honors, because it's just really good. It's not particularly sexy, but practicality has never been particularly sexy. Like it just works from top to bottom. Now, while we're up front here, a lot of you are already typing, what's different for 2025? It looks the same. We'll get into all of that, but what I really want to talk about is what sets this one apart versus the last two vehicles, last two Tucsons we have had here on our home turf, because as I mentioned earlier, this is the hybrid variant as opposed to the four-cylinder variant that we have tested twice here on the channel. This uses Hyundai's Smartstream 1.6-liter turbocharged four-cylinder hybrid engine, making 231 total horsepower and 271 total pound-feet of torque. The engine itself is a little less powerful than that, but with the help of an electric motor, you really get those very punchy, very torquey, very peppy to drive total system numbers, and we'll talk more about that behind the wheel. This is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission and sends power to all four wheels via Hyundai's HTRAC all-wheel drive. Now, I do have a small complaint with getting under the hood, and that's we still have an old school prop rod, but when I close the hood, now we can talk about style, updated look, updated style for 2025, because it isn't revolutionary, it's evolutionary. This is a mid-cycle refresh, so there wasn't a lot that could be done because they're keeping the platform the same, but all of these grille elements have changed shape and design. We've got a little more bolder, boxier style up front here, but we still get LED turn signals, LED running lights that kind of blend into the grille elements, and LED headlights. It is a cleaned up, refined look, but again, not a total departure from what we've seen before. You can see we get a dark Hyundai logo right over our 360 front-facing camera there, but generally just a cleaned up evolution of design, and I really like it. In fact, anecdotally speaking, these are the best-selling Hyundai vehicle, and I passed up several just on my way here to get to film this one. So clearly I am not alone in my love and adoration for the Tucson. Very nice, very clean look, just slightly updated for the 2025 model year. We do have the ultimate red paint job, and right now it's a little bit dirty, but we can put some B-roll over of what this looked like crystal crisp and clean, because this ultimate red does absolutely stand out. It looks fantastic, though I will say Mazda's Soul Red Crystal probably still wins out in my book, but this is still a very good, very glorious, very deep, rich metallic red that shows off all the creases and angles and design elements as we get around here to the side. Updated for 2025 are the wheel designs as well. These are 19-inch wheels for the limited model. They are wrapped in Michelin Primacy all-season tires. They are 235/55 R19 tires, and we'll talk more about them as we get out on the road. but generally speaking, we've found them to be very comfortable. We have 4-wheel disc brakes with anti-lock technology baked into them, so really good stopping power all the way around as well. As we come around to the side, nothing has really changed. It really is just the wheels that you're going to be able to notice differences from the side profile. But again, this ultimate red really does highlight all the angles and creases and designs that we see, especially here on this back door, just the way that this paint color catches all the light. As we move around to the back, not a whole lot has changed back in the back either. And perhaps my biggest complaint is the lighting back here. You can see we've got the turn signals on. Not only are they incandescent, but they are just so low in the bumper. Here in East Texas, where so many people drive pickup trucks, especially full size, and maybe even lifted trucks, these I just feel are so low when the taillight system is up here and does look very cool in its own right. They haven't really changed or done anything here, but very cool look back here to the LED lighting and the crossbar that goes all the way across the back. Very cool look back in the back. Just those turn signals, they're a little weird to me. Hyundai has put their logo under glass back here, so it is just a nice, clean, flat look, and we do get a rear wiper underneath the rear spoiler back here. We do have a power hatch that has Hyundai's smart open technology, so you can just stand back here with the key on your person and it'll beep a few times and it will open up for you. The reason it didn't do it for me today is because the vehicle's actually running. There are a certain set of circumstances you do have to meet in order for that to work. The vehicle has to be off, not running. The doors have to be locked, and like you have to walk away from it and come back. You can't just like walk up to it. When you do open the rear hatch, you get an impressive 38.7 cubic feet of storage space back here behind the rear seats. You can fold those back seats down and get a very impressive 74.5 cubic feet of space. And Hyundai makes it very easy to fold those seats down because you just pull that lever right there and your 60-40 split bench seat folds down. This side does it as well, but I cannot do it because Tucker's car seat's in place, which brings me to another small complaint of this back seat. While yes, it is 60-40, I would prefer the 40% be where we keep Tucker's car seat all the time, because now if I needed to expand my cargo space, I am relegated to the 40% over here versus having 60%. Small nitpicks, I know, but really, I have to nitpick this one because there's so much good with it. There is some additional storage space hidden in this one. As we look under the floor here, we do not get a spare tire. We get a tire mobility kit in lieu of that spare tire, but we get additional storage down here. It is foam to help with sound deadening, and there's a nice little trick where you can pull this out, let it drop down, and then you can, my backpack's not gonna let me do it, but you can slide it in for a little additional cargo height. So you can see now we've dropped it down about that far. We've got a little hidden storage under here now, and same over here on the passenger side, and just more cargo height underneath here. Of course, now we do not have that flat transition between the seat back and the rear cargo area, but it does allow you to put more back here in the event that you have both of those rear seats up, or that transition really doesn't matter to you. As far as cargo space, the cargo hatch opens very nice and wide, plenty wide for me to get underneath it. And you can see we have both a handle right here and the button to power close it right there. Before we climb into this one, I do want to show you the key. Typical new Hyundai key. It's their Hyundai logo with all the necessary buttons on here: lock, unlock, remote start, panic button, and your smart park, as well as your hatch release there. So you can move this vehicle back, forward and back from the key fob if you're in a tight parking space, or in our situation, in our garage, you just need a little bit more room. It is a smart access passive entry system, so you can unlock it by pushing right there. You can lock it by pushing right there. That is unfortunately only on the front doors, not on the back door. So if you need to get a kid in the back, you're going to go to the front door first and then to the back, just something I've noticed. And then the interior, perhaps the biggest, most welcome change over the 2024 model is the interior is more livable than before. Not that the old one wasn't, this one's just more livable. First and foremost, we have two-person memory seat here. All of our window controls here with express up-down on the front windows, but not the back windows, but all your controls right here. A little bit of gloss black, again, little bit of nitpicks here and there, a little bit of white or very light cloth here. So I already have a little bit of dirt on my fingers, and be careful not to spread that onto this light cloth. But we do have some storage down here. 8-way positional seats on both front seats with 2-way lumbar. These are leather seats. They are heated, they are ventilated, and they are very comfortable. I like them a whole lot. They are light colored, but they are holding up quite well in our time with them. And you can see there is just a little bit of wear coming across here and down here. So again, this is not the only color option, but just wanted to show you real life with these. Climbing in and sitting in, I am very proud that they did not go light on the floors, because you can see we've been doing some work in this one. We've got some dirty floors, but black carpet, really do like that a lot. And then coming to the new IP and everything, we'll go ahead and close the door, put my foot on the brake, and we'll fire it up. Nothing really happens because it's a hybrid. All the electronics come to work, the HVAC turns on, but no engine startup because we don't need it. We're saving gasoline in that respect. But this is definitely more livable than before, because we have a larger 12.3-inch digital screen here, 12.3-inch digital infotainment screen here, and it's all been brought up. If you remember, previous generations had that waterfall center console style design with 10.25-inch screens. These are definitely more visible, easier to see, and just do a good job of communicating info. Real quick, down here we have our brightness control, electronic parking brake, traction control, hatch button, and your a button here for the hybrid mode. Through the steering wheel, you can see that 12.3-inch display. It is customizable with this button right here. With what you see in the middle section, you can scroll through a few different things there. And you can customize the look of it through the infotainment screen here, but I won't spend a lot of time on it. The infotainment is very nice, quick to respond, and does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it is now wireless. That is something that has been upgraded. Huge kudos there, Hyundai. It's a very clear, crisp screen. I like it a lot. As we move across, we have this storage section here with a couple of dividers. It's not too rubberized, but it is hollow. So just be careful what you put up here. It may rattle a little bit, and then we get a little bit more of that light colored cloth. So again, just be careful what your hands look like touching up here, but otherwise very nice design all the way across. Moving down, we have physical controls now for our HVAC. No more touch area screens for turning up your temperature, turning up or down your temperature. We still have capacitive touch buttons here for our heated and ventilated seats. We can turn the HVAC on to driver only, help save some energy there. We have a heated steering wheel. All your controls are here, but I do like how we have actual physical knobs for HVAC and for volume and tuning. So again, it is more livable than before. Instead of having touch areas that you had to look for and hit exactly, now we've got knobs the way it should be. Moving down further, we've got USB-C connectivity. You can see this is a dual function. It could be USB and power or just power. And you've got a straight USB-C there. You've got a cigarette lighter style outlet there. All very nice for you to connect up here if you must. But again, it is wireless. We do get some rubberized storage down here that is very spacious. I like it a lot. You can see we've got our go bag that we take with us from vehicle to vehicle in here. It's just very usable. Very well laid out. And then we have kind of this floating center console area with a Qi wireless charger right here. Go ahead and put my iPhone 16 Pro Max right there. You can see it fits very nicely. And we do have some indicator lights here. See, there we go. They do light up and show you that your phone is charging, which is nice. It's actually raised up too. That helps with cooling of it. And it's all rubberized, so it helps keep it from moving around. Hyundai really has figured out the trick for wireless chargers. We get some more physical buttons here for your parking cameras. We get full 360 cameras on this. which I really like. Also like their visibility all the way around us, which is really cool. The processing power that goes in to making this work is very impressive and should not be overlooked. But we have downhill descent control, your parking sensors, your auto hold, your all-wheel drive lock, and your different drive modes. You can see we have Eco, Sport, My Drive, and Snow, but we'll go ahead and put it back in Eco for right now. While we're talking about different drive modes, you can see Holley has put over 300 miles on it. We're getting 35.3 mpg. Window sticker says 35 across the board, so kudos to Holley for besting the EPA on that one. Typical Hyundai steering wheel here. We get their Morse code H on the steering wheel. All your driver assistance and your radio controls are up here. We have pedal shifters on the back for the 6-speed automatic transmission. You may have noticed these red lights looking at me. We now have a driver attention warning camera here, just making sure that I am paying attention to the road ahead of me. We have no additional storage up here for sunglasses, but you can see we have our dual stage switch for our massive glass roof, 2-panel panoramic glass roof. That does not cut into my headroom too much. We do have a light headliner in this, so even when it's closed, it doesn't feel too dark or claustrophobic in here. But at 5'10", I'm plenty comfortable. Plenty space up here. We do have some additional storage down here in the doors. I already showed you down there. My phone, we've got that. We've got the glove box. It is damped, but not lined with felt. So that is the front seat. Let's pop in now, sitting behind myself, and see what that back seat is like. Because, well, it's one of the reasons why I love this just so much. You can see all the amenities still from the front doors. Back here, we get the cloth. We've got heated outboard rear seats, but we do have more of that gloss black plastic right where your hands touch. Why, Hyundai? Why? You could have done better there. Then we have leather seats back here. Same design. We have lower latch points. If you want to see us install Tucker's child safety seat, be sure and hit that subscribe button. Follow along because you won't want to miss that. We'll go ahead and climb in, and I'll show you. This isn't great right now. This is its most upright seating position. I don't know of anybody who actually rides with this. This is, no, not great, but it is a reclining seat that goes back plenty far, and judging by how much cargo space I showed you earlier, not really cutting into the cargo space that much because of just how much room is back there. But now I'm very comfortable. Unfortunately, again, the 60-40 split the way it is, not only does it not allow for us to have more cargo space with Tucker's child safety seat in, but this person over here is awkwardly worried about the extra part of the seat right here. Nitpicks, I know, nitpicks. It's all nitpicks. But this is more where I would ride normally. Very comfortable back seat, plenty of headroom at 5'10", plenty of leg room sitting behind myself. Hard plastic seat backs. We get the mesh net storage pockets on the backs of both front seats, HVAC vents on the back of the center console, 2 USB-C ports down there, and yes, we do get a center hump because this is all-wheel drive. We got to get power to those rear wheels somehow. Go ahead and slide over. I sit up a little bit higher, a little bit taller, definitely taking advantage of the glass roof above me here. It's not terrible. It is a little firmer. It's not terrible, but it's not the best seat. Really do like these outboard seats, which again are heated. Then we do have this fold down center armrest with 2 cup holders. No rubber grippers in here or anything, and they seem small. So just be aware of that. I think Tucker's built-in car seat cup holders are bigger than these, but that is a quick tour of this one after having lived with it. Now let's hop behind the wheel, do a 0 to 60 test, talk about how this thing lives up to my hype of SUV of the year. Before we get too far driving this one, I do want to thank Racebox for supplying us with our 0 to 60 timer. This is a GPS unit that uses GPS positioning to tell me exactly what my vehicles are capable of doing 0 to 60. If you want to get one for yourself and save 15% off in the process while supporting our channel, all the links and information are below. Huge thanks to Racebox for supporting this. Now, you may be wondering, why am I talking about 0 to 60 timers and a family SUV, especially one that I said already isn't all that sexy because it's practical? Well, my biggest complaint of the Tucson to date is how all the versions we've driven have really been kind of lackluster in power. Anemic has been a word that I have used quite a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in sport drive mode. And we're going to get out here on a straight stretch of road and see exactly what this new hybrid system is capable of doing. Again, with its all-wheel drive, I do expect this to be a very repeatable set of tests. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what this is capable of as we get out here. We're in sport mode. I'm still in automatic. I'm not going to use the flappy paddles. Full on the brake, full on accelerator. Nothing really happens. No revving, no muss, no fuss, but we'll drop the brake. It took just a second to realize, but now we are off to the races. And what do we got? 7.14. So not anemic. Not great, not exceptional, but not anemic. We will test it again here in a little bit once we've got the tires warm at the end of the video, but I did want to get that out of the way right off the bat just to show you that yes, while it is not the quickest thing in the world, it is definitely not slow either. This thing is plenty peppy, and I highly recommend, if you're looking at a Tucson, get the hybrid. The hybrid is the way to go. I already mentioned 35 mpg across the board is what the EPA rates this at. And we are seeing better than that, even after that little 0 to 60 run. So very impressive fuel economy returns in this. You really can go a long way. But really good powertrain, get up and go. Very excitable engine for what this vehicle is. And let's talk about that. Okay, yes, this is not a sports car. This isn't even an RS branded crossover like the Chevy Equinox we most recently tested. So it has no sporty intentions other than having a sport drive mode. Yes, I know, but this is a very fun, very good vehicle. I already showed you, we have plenty of space all the way around in this. It is very easy to drive, effortless to drive. The power delivery, it's there right when you want it. Although trying to brake torque a hybrid, yeah, that doesn't really happen. But other than that, who does that in a hybrid crossover other than me or my peers testing vehicles? If you really want to get out and go in front of traffic, this has enough power to get out and go in traffic. So I've got no complaints there. And then talking about ride and handling, the suspension on this is very good. It isn't floaty, it isn't harsh, it is tuned just right. Goldilocks would be happy with the suspension on this. I mentioned taking this on a drive in California. We were doing hills and valleys and turns and everything, which yes, is a lot of fun, but getting it out on roads that I'm familiar with, I can tell you that yes, this suspension absolutely holds up. There isn't just a ton of body roll in it. It handles very well. There are imperfections that I've already hit in the road that even with the largest 19-inch wheels on this are holding up quite well. I've got no complaints. It is a very comfortable vehicle in all situations. We will be talking a little bit more about ride and handling and power delivery with Holly behind the wheel. So again, if you want to know more about how this vehicle really holds up under long-term testing, hit the subscribe button and follow along. Ring the bell so you're notified when our family review drops, where Holly will be behind the wheel and she will give you her thoughts and impressions on this one. But yeah, even here on my favorite driving road, it's a fun little vehicle. Definitely not the most fun I've had on this road, but still fun nonetheless. Again, we hit some imperfections back there. It's doing a great job of not jostling me here on the inside of the vehicle. You can tell that there are bumps in the road, but it isn't beating us up in the process. Yes, I am impressed all the way around. Those Michelin Primacy all-season tires are translating a little bit of road noise in here, but I am on some highly textured pavement as well. So I'm not going to critique them too much, but yes, just be aware that there is some road noise that does creep into the cabin. This isn't the quietest vehicle I've ever taken down this road, but it is by far nowhere near the loudest I've taken down here either. Now, as we are going down with a little bit of speed, the suspension is showing the fact that it is tuned for comfort, not for sport. This is definitely not something you're going to be racing around corners or anything. And that's where perhaps the Mazda CX-50 Hybrid's more zoom DNA would be a better fit for if you were wanting performance thrill while piloting a hybrid versus all-around comfort. It's good. It's very good. Visibility out of it is very good as well. I've got that very big rear window back behind me, big side windows, big windshield, no real big blind spots in this one, but Hyundai has thought of that with my 12-inch head-up display, giving me visual representation of blind spot warnings. So not only do I get the warnings on my mirrors, but I get it right here in front of me on my head-up display, which gives me a lot of other pertinent information like speed, lane keeping, stuff like that. So yes, not only do we get those blind spot warnings both on the mirrors and on the head-up display, we get blind spot cameras when I put the blinker on that show me exactly what is in my blind spot. Again, right here in front of me, allowing me to see around me and know what is around me very easily. Hyundai, you are doing a great job with all of your technology. Very good tech all the way around in this one as well, in addition to these two very large upgraded screens here in front of me. But now we are back to a straight stretch of road. We're going to come to a nice slow stop. And I will say, historically, this stretch has always gotten me my worst 0 to 60 times, and no matter what vehicle I was in, it is slightly uphill, so we will turn around and do it in reverse from here. But full on the brake, full on the accelerator, we'll go ahead and put it in sport mode, drop the brake, and we are off. Again, not super dramatic, but when that engine decides to chime in, we get some speed and we get moving. 7.31. So again, not fantastic, but still very good 0 to 60 results here from the Tucson. So we'll come back. We're facing the other direction from our last run. We'll do it going the other way, full on brake, full on accelerator, drop the brake, and we are off. When that engine kicks in, it's like, let's go. And it does carry you forward. All right, there is our best time yet, 6.87. But again, that one was slightly downhill. So you average those all together, and I would say expect right at 7 seconds 0 to 60, which, translating that to real life, real world, seat of the pants, it's more than enough to pull out in front of traffic, merge on the highway, do whatever you need to do in regular daily life. I approve of the hybrid system in this one. Would I buy this over the Chevy Equinox? Well, I know it's just been a week since we've had that one, but yeah, I think I would. It just seems like a better package all the way around. More power, more fuel economy, slightly bigger engine, but just all around a better package when you come down to it. I like the interior packaging a lot. Yes, I definitely give the edge to Hyundai over the Chevy Equinox. Would I buy this over that Mazda CX-50 Hybrid? Also, yes, because I believe this has a lot more luxuries than you can get on the CX-50 Hybrid. 360 cameras for one. For whatever reason, that is an omission in all trims of the CX-50 Hybrid, as are ventilated seats. So while I am paying about $3,000 more than that CX-50 Hybrid that I tested recently, I get more luxuries in this one as well. And I think this one just would be a little bit better to live with day in and day out. Hyundai took everything that was great about the last one and improved upon it incrementally. And I believe this really works. The interior upgrades alone are one reason worth looking at, perhaps shopping brand new versus getting something slightly used, certified pre-owned, something like that. If you want to see more from us here on the channel, we have tested a lot of the competition here in this segment. Be sure and hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop from us. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. It is all at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, here in, yes, I'll go ahead and say it, my favorite SUV that we've tested on the channel this year for daily livability, and I'll go ahead and say it, my SUV of the year for Garage Talk in the 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid Limited. Until next time, gearheads, bye. It's a good car. It's really good. I'd buy this. At $43,000, it is a little bit pricier than the other two vehicles I've brought up a lot in this video, but it is still a very good bargain and does carry with it the best warranty in the business.